welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today we're recycling towels. Sometimes our towels get a little sad, sometimes you get tears in them, and the little side is coming off, and they get holey or really frayed. They've been too many spins around in the wash machine, or they've just had a better day. So instead of it being the last one that gets picked, we're gonna recycle into something different so we can actually make it useful. So this is the latest casualty that we have here, and it is two different sizes. Like when you fold it in half, you're gonna get one bigger piece than the other, but we're gonna change these into bath mats. This one, because it's smaller, I think I'm actually going to keep it at the door, so when on those rainy days and muddy days, I can put it down and I have Sophie stand on it with her paws, and then anything dripping on will collect and I can dry her down and stuff like that. So definitely it'll be recycled and reused. So I have one, there was purple one here, the other half was already pretty much torn up, and so I recycled it into this bath mat right here. So what I did is I cut my binding at 3 inches, and then I folded it upon itself, and I'm just going to attach it like you normally would bind a quilt or any other wall hanging project or something like that. Okay, so let's first, and then we're going to clean it up, because this one we cleaned it up with the threads and stuff like that, so it looks almost brand new, and we're going to give it a new life by being a bath mat for a bit, and easy to toss in the wash machine as well. Okay. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to cut what's loose off here. Okay, just clean that up a bit. We won't worry about the rest of it. We'll just leave it the way it is because it's going to get wrapped in a binding. This part right here, which is the other end, is pretty thick. So we're going to seam rip that and make sure we take the tag off. We don't want the tag. Okay, so let's get this here. You can just cut it if you like. I just kind of seam ripped it and then cut it right next to where it was. There we go. Because you got to get me a better start. So, okay. And then just by working the seam ripper down, and if you pull it at the right angle and you scoop the U right in between, you can go down pretty smooth. Okay. Always keep your hand behind your seam ripper. Don't go overhead, because if it were to slip, you would be poking yourself, and that could be very, very dangerous. Okay. Of course, and we don't want the tag, so we'll make sure the tag is coming out with it. Okay. Just right all the way. You may, if you got thicker bindages on or bound edges on your towels, you may want to trim them if it's going to be too thick for your machine. Or if there's nothing wrong with them, then you can just leave it and just repair the one side. Okay, so then what I did is I came in and I cut with my scissors right next to where it's the very terry towel-y, okay? So I got rid of all this. We didn't want this, okay? So I just came in close with my scissors and trims that up. Okay. And don't throw those towels out. Let's recycle them into something we could use, right? Okay, there we go. We just toss that off to the side. And then once it's all bound and stuff, that's when I came in and was just cleaning it up with a pair of scissors, or you can use a pair of snips and get all these little long threads, trim them up so it looks brand spanking new. And you get a few more years something else out of that towel. And these are good to recycle, to use for the dogs, you know, to, put over the seat when you forgot to cover the lawnmowers. You need to mow the lawn, it's a little wet, so pop it on the seat and then away you go. Okay, so you can clean that up afterwards, all right? So what I did is, because depending on the size of your mat, I kind of go on the side. I start on the side with the binding and then work my way all the way around. And it's just to sew on the back and then sew on to the front. So really super easy on doing that. I try to keep it at about a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way of binding, like maybe 4 inches, and then you're going to probably want to stitch about a 1/2 inch away. Okay. So I left a little bit of a gap for overlap here, but that's about all that you need. Okay, let's shift back over here. Make sure we're happy with where it's positioning. If you need to put a few clips, where's the clips? Okay. These little clips here you can, if having a hard time keeping things together, you can just clip it as you go or even pin it. So whatever helps you. Okay. You can also recycle towels into aprons, cloths or handy towels for outside in the garden or the barbecue. They end up cleaning up the barbecue, and then they can easily just get tossed in the wash. Okay, so we sewed down and we stopped about a ½ inch away. Now we're going to fold up our binding. So you got that little angled corner, and then we're just going to slide it back under. And then just stitch all the way around, okay? You can also use these as to wrap hot dishes or cold dishes. If you're going off to a barbecue or a party, they could help retain the cool or the heat. Wrapping your dishes all nice and safe. And because you already got the one life out of your towel, you're giving it a second life, so. Great thing to take down to the beach, to brush your feet off before you put your shoes back on, because sometimes I discovered that myself when Papa and I went to the beach a few weeks ago. I wanted to go in the water, so water means the sand's going to stick to your feet. Well, by the time I got to where I could put my shoes on, I still had lots of sand on my feet. So bringing one of these along to help clean up the sand off would be a perfect idea. Just keep it in the car. Or even something to take to sit on the beach, so you're not sitting on the sand. You can sit on the towel. There's like 1,001 ideas. You could, plenty. Just keep thinking about it. All the uses for it. Okay. So I was just folding it on itself. And we just finish it all the way around. I did put this on a bigger stitch too. I think I have 3.0 stitch instead of the normal 2.4, which is my regular stitch. I just went up just a little bit, not too much. And if you had lovely binding, this is where one time you could use some of those fancy stitches you have on your machine. That would be a nice way to zhuzh up a little towel mat. And I like these because they're so easy just to toss in the wash. It's no problem at all. And sometimes, because some towels have rubber backing. So we have the one towel mat or bath mat in the bathroom, and then we just lay these on top. And then they're so easy to wash, right? Okay, and then as I came around, you can see I got to get my side back together, but instead of taking it off and putting it on the angle together, I'll show you what I got to do just to make it nice and easy peasy. I'm going to cut down about 3 inches, okay? Just cut that little strip off. Hopefully you can see that there. And then what I do to the top one is I fold it upon itself, okay? Just like that. And then I tuck this where the little pocket, and this is where the end of this goes. It just lines right up in there. Make sure it's laying nice and flat. Lay this over top. Oops, get a little flatter here. And then it just seals up, nice and smooth. Seals up all those raw edges. Oh, probably could have got it a little tighter there. But you know what? It's just a towel mat. You know what? Hold on. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Okay. Could have pinned that. See how we got that little bubble there? We don't want that. It's going to turn into a little fold. So let's rip this back. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. And I think maybe we'll pop a pin in there. It worked so good the first time around. Of course it does. Okay, here, let's clip. Clip so it's taut. It's nice and fit all the way. There's no bumps or lumps. Okay, now let's fold this. I guess I put the raw edge up there. Tuck this down here. We just kind of want to make it a little pocket. Okay, lay that nice and flat. Tuck that in. Okay, make sure it's nice and taut. Scooting that forward. It seams it. It doesn't look like we've got any lumps or bumps there. Okay, so let's go back under the needle. And if we didn't do it right, we know we got the seam ripper. It's our friend, we got the seam ripper. All right, there we go, much better, much better. I'm glad I did the change. So now, when you do is to flip it to the front, it's just like I said, just like putting binding on any quilt project or wall hanging. You take that folded edge right there. And of course, you can pop a little clip in there to get it all set up underneath the machine. And then just sew on down. Sealing up. You're brand new. New to you. Completed by you. There we go. And then just fold those corners so they got a nice little angle on them. Tuck that thread under. And then what I like to do is I like to try and come all the way down and take 1 or 2 stitches into this side so I know it's not going to shift as I go and start going the other direction, okay? Okay, and then just make sure taking at least 2 stitches. 1, 2. Okay, all right, now we can lift our foot, shift it around, and then continue on puttering down to the other side, doing the same thing. There we go. Okay, so we know that. We know how we finished that one. And of course, this is how it turned out, the matching one, okay? And I'm going to do the same with this towel here. Of course, I'm going to get 2 different pieces off of this one. I'm going to try and even it up, get a proper measurement because it is a bit on, this one was easy because I just cut in half. It had a lot of frayed edges of this binding here was off, so it was easy to do. But this one's already got a rip down it already. So, and it's been like that for a little bit. And I'm like, I got to recycle this. What could I do with it? What could I do with it? And there we go. Came up with an answer. So. Thank you, everyone. Greatly appreciate you here at the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Hope you're having a fantastic week and have a great weekend. Don't forget to join us Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to continue to work on our flower patch project and finish that up. We've got 30 squares to do, and I think I have about 18 done, so we only got 12 more. We'll get there. Thank you. Big hugs to you, and I hope you recycle some of your towels if they need it. Take care, everybody. Big hugs. We'll see you soon.